Most of the greenery down here's just about gone dormant. The only things that haven't are invasives, mostly ones from Japan. So what hasn't gone fully dormant is goji berry, which is great, and that massively invasive Asian bittersweet, or not bittersweet, Asian honeysuckle. For some reason I've been getting those two confused recently. And Asian bush honeysuckle is beyond some vining honeysuckle here. So it's that. Other invasives on the hill include all these fluffy seeds and all of these twigs here and the fluffy seeds here. That's all that tree. You can see the base of the tree is just about there, so that's a tall tree. It's kind of clinging right to the edge of the cliff, which makes it difficult to consider what we're going to do about it. Blah. So I guess I just have to let it keep seeding all over the hillside. Grumble, grumble. They don't like shade though, so if I can just thicken up the overgrowth over here, that'd be better. You can see I've got quite a bit more harvest of goji berry going on here. Yet again. There's a lot up there too. So that's nice. I like the goji berry. This is the way I used to come down the hill. It was quite treacherous. And I think the deer are still coming down the hill this way. So something I'd really like to do is put in a couple more T-posts or U-posts and lay some pole wood or old 2x4s or something across here. That would allow me to get over that way without sliding as much as happens now. I don't like sliding down the hill the way that seems to be necessary to get over there right now. Oh, okay, so in some ways that's sort of good news. These trees that there are so many twigs are actually coppiced, so they had been cut. It's not as many individual trees as I thought. It's fewer individual trees. Okay, good. Some of them down here need cut too, especially this one that started doing seeds, but I had trouble reaching it without sliding down the hill, so it's tricky. I came down here today, not because there's anything I really think I need to do, though I did notice I need to harvest some of these goji berries again. But I came down here to see if I could assess where a landslide had occurred. One which I'm pretty sure I saw from the highway the other day, well, Thanksgiving afternoon, so yesterday. Because we had a vicious windstorm on Wednesday, and from the best I can figure, some big trees got blown down and it took a good chunk of the hillside with it. Now if I'm looking over there, I'm seeing some light brown that doesn't have any vegetative growth at all coming down from the back of these folks' deck. So that's not close enough that I'm super concerned, but it does change Anything that I would do with this section, I would like to keep all of this growing pretty strong, given that that occurred right there. So that's not great, but it's definitely a landslide that's a lot closer to home than usual, and I'm glad that I'm carefully managing mine as best I can. This looks a little more knocked into place than it did previously. I think something else may have fallen on top of it, but that's fine. Because all of my soil down there is stable, and that's mostly what I was concerned about. So it would seem in this area that very large trees that catch a ton of wind are the biggest risk to the cliffside, especially the ones nearer the edge of an undercut, which makes this tree bigger of a concern than I thought. I'll have to see what I can do about that at some point, of course, being as safe as possible. Yeah, that's not great. It also gets me thinking that maybe putting a good bit of, I've been looking into different types of wild plums and finding that they sucker at an incredibly aggressive rate and produce food that can either be consumed by humans or wildlife, and if consumed by wildlife, will reseed in further away areas and further stabilize. It seems like a really good idea, even though they're covered in thorns, to get some Chickasaw plum going down there, so that it can colonize and be a safer type of low-growing tree for the hillside than some of the things that are going right now. Because if catching a heavy wind is going to cause a major landslide from a big tree ripping out of the hill, then I've got concerns. I do. Yep. So I'll continue to let these hopefully take the whole way. These are those Salix discolor, which is a native willow. They're just cuttings that I stuck in the ground, and they seem to have taken, which is awesome. I hope they go through the whole winter. They're just sticks jammed in the ground, so I'm really quite impressed. To be perfectly honest, I'm really quite impressed. Well, that'll be interesting. And then, of course, with this tree being, my phone is recording at level, this tree being as much of an angle, and this is in the foreground, this is actually right here and only very small. But that'll probably take out the neighbor's flat area up here sooner than later, because they really don't have any growth protecting it, which is why I want to intersperse in this area. I would like to interplant a bunch of those black locusts up in here to get a really good root system going. That's a hope. But of course, people dump their trash down here, so that doesn't make it any easier. So, yep. That's the hillside. All along here, I've put the seeds for a bunch of different asters. You can see the poofties, because those get really substantial roots in the base of them, and they're pretty, but that's less of the concern. The aster is a really good rooting, fast-growing, herbaceous plant that puts up cute little flowers, too. Oh, there goes a helicopter. Yeah, now you can see it. Boop. Yeah, so I think it'll be a pretty good method for retaining this hillside and I have to figure out how I'm going to handle all of this area too. But with willow growing right below, that is a fast growing plant with a really good root system. So with the willow growing right below, I will be a lot less worried. The only thing left to do then will be to build up this area below that, and then hopefully maybe get some spreading trees, maybe even some food crop spreading trees going below that. And it would be great if I could at least top this so it's not as much of a sail in the wind that is risking ripping away my hillside. Because every time a cliff edge tree falls, it's risky. And it looks like that house that here, not the yellow one, this one, already has an unstable foundation. So their poor stewardship of this hillside has led to problems, and I can learn from other people's experiences, and I should be able to get over there and get some plants in the ground over there too. So Chickasaw plums might be in my near future. It might be in their near future, depending on what I do. And I'm going to try and harvest some of these goji berries now. So I hope you're having a good, safe, comfortable, and not too consumerist Black Friday. Take care. Bye.